fumble. Hey, everybody. Welcome to my Goddesses in Business interview series. I am really excited to share today's guest with you. I have known this person for years. I have worked with this person on my brand, Goddess Lifestyle Plan, and I just think she is such a special human and has so much wisdom to share. So immediately she came to mind when my interview series came to my mind, which is interesting because I was just telling her that everybody seems to be zigging with this podcast stuff. And I was like, well, damn, I'm going to zag and we're going to do some old school video interviews, short and sweet, talking about really important topics in regards to building a successful online brand and business. So without further ado, I would like to introduce my soul sister and one of my favorite people, Stephenie Zamora, founder of Stephenie Zamora Media, to the interview. Welcome, Stephenie.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. You know, I love and adore you and absolutely everything that you create. This is so exciting.
Thank you. I feel the same way. And I just can't wait for everybody I know to know you too. So let's dive in. Tell us a little bit about what you do, who you serve, a little bit about you as well.
Yes. So I run a media company, Stephenie Zamora Media, and purpose is my purpose. So as a business, we're taking a really strong stance to be the future of life purpose development. I have been studying what purpose is, what it means, how to live it my whole life, I feel like, because I was one of those people, I just don't understand this world, don't feel like I necessarily belong. So I've always been fascinated by purpose. And so we serve people at all points on that journey, everything from healing and finding wholeness in the aftermath of challenging chapters and big life transitions, to uncovering your passions and purpose, to organizing your life and career and relationships around it, to building a brand and a business and a platform and really getting your message out into the world. So I love purpose. It's my favorite topic and I could talk about it all day long. So that's what we do in my business.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I have been privy to a lot of the different aspects of your work, including us purchasing some of your books. I know that you've written some books on purpose and living happy every day. Talk a little bit about that you had this message that you wanted to channel into.
Yeah. I have one of my brands that we trademarked is Awesome Life Tips. And I started writing these daily tips many moons ago, just as a social media thing when I was first building my business. And the tips kind of grew their own dedicated following. So we have 2 tips books. One of them is 365 tips for living a life you love. And it's just short tips about how to be who you're here to be and live the life that you want to live and do your work in the world. And the second one is 365 tips for the dark night of the soul, because I went through my own really challenging chapter with trauma and loss and abuse and just tons and tons of loss and transition and change. And so I also wrote my memoir, came out in early 2020, and it's called Unravel. And it's my journey, everything that I went through for my traumatic loss and PTSD and how that really impacted my life and my business and my health. And that was a really exciting and challenging book to write. I really wanted to share with people that the path to living your purpose, like often it takes something to activate us. I always talk about glow sticks as an example. Like glow sticks are fine and good when you get them, you take them out of the package, they're a solid little chunk. But it's not until we bend them and break them and crack them that really activates them. And we're able to illuminate the world around us with their unique, beautiful glow. And I feel like for a lot of people, that's how purpose gets activated. So I wanted to share my own story about how loss and trauma really shaped me, shaped my work, shaped my purpose, and how when we're doing healing and growth work, sometimes it gets worse and harder before it gets better and feels aligned. And yeah, I love all my little book babies. They're all self-published, and you were such a huge support, especially during the memoir launch. So I really, really appreciated that.
Oh yeah. Well, you know, I resonate so much with not only everything you say, but also the fact that I truly believe that women need to support women. One of my wounds, and I agree with you, it's like we get broken open. The challenges is what helps us illuminate our magic. Like when we move through those painful experiences. That's how I ended up doing this work. I know that a lot of us carry that wounded healer archetype. And I really love when we start moving through it and then take that pain and alchemize it into helping others with the wisdom we gleaned, working our way through it. So for sure, I love it. And I couldn't be more happy to support your work and other amazing goddesses work. I truly want to change the paradigm where women feel like they're not supporting each other. It is one of my, I don't know if it's a passion, if it's a mission, both, but I want to rewrite women's stories with each other. Like, we should be supporting each other. Miracles happen when we support each other, right? Sure. So today we decided to talk about how to be uniquely you in your brand and business. So can you share why you feel it's so important to be uniquely you and authentic in your business and brand?
Absolutely. I feel like, and we've all experienced this if you're in business, which if you're listening to this, you are, there are so many people in the world who have a business or who are trying to do the same thing that we're doing. And so for one, it's really essential to set yourself apart in that way. So it's easy for people to resonate with you. And that's really what it's about, is resonance. And purpose is about being who you are here to be and doing your work in the world and contributing in the way that only you can. And so if you're trying to model someone else, if you're trying to be like every other whatever in your industry, or what it is that you do, you're not going to stand out and you're not going to resonate with anyone, because you're going to muddy your vibration and your frequency and the message that you're putting out in the world, and your conversation isn't going to land for people. So when we really show up fully expressed as who we are in our unique ways, and we stop being so scared of being different or going against the grain or whatever it is, whatever our wound is around that, whatever we're afraid of, then we really start to resonate with our right tribe and our right community. I feel like there's probably thousands, if not millions of people doing work that I do. There's tons of coaches in the world. There's tons of branding experts and marketing people. And people resonate with me because I'm who I am and I present in the way that I do. And I share my story based on how life has shaped me and what I believe, my stance, my experience. And there are people who don't resonate with me, and that's great, because there's someone else out there doing this work that really aligns with them and what they want to put out into the world. So it's important from a brand strategy perspective, set yourself apart so it's really clear who you are and who you serve, but also so that you get to be you in the world, because we need more people showing up as unique as they are, so that there are people out there that are going to resonate with you and not me, can find you and get the support that they need.
Yeah, so beautifully said. I absolutely, we're like-minded and on business for sure. And it's something I work with my clients. A lot of them feel very afraid to show their warts. I'm a big, I show the beauty in the warts, because there are sometimes I'm a hot mess. And then there are sometimes I've got it all under control. And I truly feel when I'm going through a hot mess moment or a hot mess experience, that the most powerful thing I can do for my students, my community, is to show up that way and show how I'm navigating that hot mess, not try to hide it, because that doesn't serve. That's ego-based. So yeah, for sure. Like right now, the sound is being wonky. So if on this recording right now, the sound is being wonky on my end, and my Virgo-ness is like, but you know what? This shit happens. This shit happens with technology. And when you have an online business, you just have to roll with it. You have to roll with it as best as you can. This is out of my control. So yeah, it's going to be what it is. Yeah, absolutely. So powerful. Do you have any tips or tricks that you've come across along the way that could help somebody who's feeling, it's very vulnerable to open the kimono and just to be able to be like, I'm a hot mess, or this is what I'm going through, or my life isn't my Instagram feed. You know what I mean? What have you found? Any gold nugget you want to share?
I don't think there's any magical thing that makes you feel better about it. You really just have to push the edge. And I think what has helped me and has helped my clients is understanding that when we push our edges, especially vulnerability and authenticity edges, and we start showing up fully expressed, it's supposed to be really hard and messy. You're supposed to feel like knocked on your ass from it. The vulnerability hangovers are real. You're supposed to, like, all of your stuff is going to come up, all of your triggers, all of your trauma around being seen or heard, all of it comes up. And that doesn't mean that you're not supposed to do it or that you're doing it wrong. It just means that you're pushing your edge. And there's this idea of the terror barrier, which is when we go through life, there's normal highs and lows, ups and downs. When we push an edge and we start doing something new and different, it goes like this. It's like this crazy, chaotic up and down. Everybody knows that experience of shit just hitting the fan. And you're like, what is wrong with me? What is wrong with this? Why is this happening? It's just the terror barrier. You're learning a new way of being. All of your subconscious stuff is being triggered, and your subconscious wants you to stay the same that you have always been, even if you're unhappy, because it knows you can survive that. So it is throwing up anything it can think of, anything it can do to get you to stop and go back. And what happens is we hit that terror barrier and we go backwards. And that's how we get stuck in the cycle of never being able to create what we want. When really, if you can just ride the waves, if you have resources, if you have support, if you just have the understanding that this is supposed to happen, nothing is wrong, you're going to come out the other side and you're going to be able to settle into the new way of being. And so it's just really understanding that there's never going to be a moment that feels right or easy. And every time you push that vulnerability edge, it happens. I mean, I went through it when I published my book, and I've been writing and sharing very vulnerably for years. But when I put that book out, it damn near killed me. And when I put my next book out, which is going to be even more of an exposing story, it's going to damn near kill me again. And when I started my podcast, that was another layer of visibility. I've been visible for years, but doing that was like, oh my God, I was absolutely flattened. And it's like, there's nothing to do but do it. You just start pushing the edges, and you understand that when you push an edge, you're actively walking past the point that you're comfortable. And so the discomfort and the spin and the stories and all of the freakouts and the self-sabotage, it's to be expected. We all do it. It happens to every single one of us, no matter how big you are. I'm sure you've experienced this, Lisa. Every time you up level, it's just like, ooh, it's just part of the process.
Amen to that. You know, the magic truly happens outside the comfort zone. And that's something I say all the time. Like, if I'm comfortable, I'm not growing. I know that. When my clients and students are comfortable, they're not growing. So I'm always pushing on those edges. Let's just turn up the volume a little bit more. Let's just do something that doesn't feel comfortable. And walking into the fear has been literally the most transformative acts I've ever done in my life. Anytime I see fear, go right into it, because I know logically, like the bells are going off, like, don't do it. Like that terror barrier is screaming at me. But here and here, I know that's where I gotta go.
Yeah.
I gotta go there. And it's scary as hell, for sure. And growing an online business is the most confronting thing I've ever done in my life. And I've done a lot of things. It's confronting on every level, emotional, physical. It's just crazy mentally. But it's also the most kick-ass thing I've ever done, and something I'm the most proud of. And I say that after raising 3 children and all the things. But you know what? I'm most proud of my growing this online business, because none of it came natural. None of it was easy.
Yeah.
None of it was comfortable. And I did it anyways.
Yeah. And it's such a great container for personal growth, because you can't do things if you have trauma and core wounds and winning strategies and subconscious programs that are keeping you small. I mean, a lot of people think I'm just crappy at writing or sharing myself. It's like, no, maybe you have trauma around being seen or heard, and you have to face all of that.
Yeah. Which, takes a tremendous amount of courage, and you really have to be ready. But sometimes making the powerful decision that you are ready, even when you don't think you are, is what's necessary. Yeah. It's really, I don't think we ever feel ready to do all the things. I know, I'll speak for myself. I've never been ready. I've just been done with the old story enough to do it,
right,
to move into that fear. Yeah. Awesome stuff. Awesome. So this is my favorite question of the whole interview series. And it is, what is the one thing you would say or tell your early entrepreneurial self?
We laughed about this before we started recording. And my answer is still the same. Like, you think you know, but you have no idea. And I say that because a lot of people look at my business where it's at now. I have grown this media company. We have several brands and offerings and all these things that we do. And they're just like, wow, that's so cool. Like, you're so lucky and smart. And it's like, oh my God, no, I started as a designer, just doing design. And then I had a quarter life crisis and I started life coaching people. And then those people found their passions and wanted to start businesses. And I started business coaching. And then when I was on this high in my life and in my work, trauma took me out at the knees. It absolutely flattened me. And my entire business came to a halt. And I had to learn what it meant to rise up and come back and to rebuild yourself and to reorient. And so my business is what it is because life has shaped me and in the process has shaped my body of work. And so I think I would say I was definitely type A, have the vision, have the goal, know all the things, have the plan. And it's like, that's all great. Have your goals, have your plans, set your milestones, work towards things. But you have no idea what's coming down the pipe, and you have no idea what you need to walk through to be shaped into the person who can show up and impact the world in the way that you want. And I think that's just important for us to always remember. I mean, even now I have to remind myself, I'm so rooted in who I am after everything and my body of work and what I'm creating. And it's like, who knows how life is going to shape me next, what I'm going to walk through, what's going to happen in the world. And so I think it's about having a balance between holding your vision and your intention and your purpose and direction with like loads of surrender, like surrendering to the constant unfolding of life and really allowing it to influence you and your work. Like, I wish I would have better understood that earlier on.
Oh, such a rich answer. There's just so many gold nuggets in there. Absolutely. And the mystery is really part of the ride, right? Not having it so predictable. I mean, I know nobody wants to have a crisis or a trauma, that's for sure. But the thing is that our experiences happen for us, not to us. If we can just know that, no matter how terrible it is, there is a lesson, a soul lesson, a personal lesson, a spiritual lesson, whatever you want to call it. There's something we can take from that. And for me, I know it's been very important that I always take the pain and turn it into something beautiful for the world, because then I feel like it was not in vain. But if I just take the pain and stay stuck in the pain, what does that help? That's not serving. I have a servant's heart. So I'm always looking to make something beautiful out of a pile of shit, so to speak. A shit sandwich, turn it into something nice.
Yeah, it's so important. We're meaning making machines. That's our gift as humans. We misuse it a lot of the time, but we always have a choice in the meaning that we make from something. And I mean, look at what you've done. You've created this amazing, incredible brand and body of work that is influencing and impacting so many people. You're a huge example of that. And we just have to remind ourselves of it constantly.
Thank you. Thank you. So I would love for you to tell our viewers where they can find you. How can they find you?
Yeah, StephenieZamora.com is the best place to find me and everything we do. And I spell my name special, StephenieZamora. But that will give you a sense of who I am and what I'm up to and shoot you off in any direction you want to go.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you so much for doing this with me and hanging out and sharing your wisdom with my audience. I just absolutely adore you. And I can't wait to do this again. And I'm just going to say it. I hope this volume and the sound was okay, because living on a tropical island, I know everybody's playing a violin for me right now. You're probably in winter somewhere, but it's a little bit of a challenge sometimes with the wind blowing and this happening. So I hope that everything was clear for you to hear. And I want you to definitely go visit Stephenie and check her out and check out her many different offerings and gifts. All right. Till next time. We'll see you soon.